I used to go to every single, Charlie and I were on the road probably 320 some days out of the year. All of a sudden, when I found out I was pregnant, I just stopped. I stayed home because I knew that once my little one was here, my focus was going to shift.
I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was.
Erika Kirk was dating Cabot Phillips. If you haven't heard the story, basically, they were dating. They have all kinds of Instagram stuff together, saying we're lovebirds. People are like, oh, you guys are the greatest couple. And they painted together, all this stuff, right? And same dude.
Some new information has come out that is making people question whether Erika Kirk has been telling the truth. New details are spreading around the internet, and they're saying that Erika might have lied about way more things than people first thought. But here's the really crazy part. These new things people are saying aren't just about her old boyfriends or stories that don't match up. We're hearing claims that her former fiancé, Cat Phillips, might have been part of some kind of secret plan against Charlie. And there's even more. Some people are now saying that Erika herself was supposedly paid money to watch over Charlie until a certain job was finished. Now, I understand that sounds like something from an action movie, but people on the internet have been searching for information, and what they're finding about Cat's past is really shocking. Let's discuss Cat Phillips for a moment, because the internet has really grabbed onto some strange facts. First off, people say there's supposedly a pizza tattoo on the inside of Cat's lip. And if you know anything about the stories that have gone around in some parts of the internet, you understand why that's making people suspicious. Then there are the things being said about his family's connection to what some are describing as a cult. We'll talk about that more soon, but keep listening. People are also claiming that Cat had a baby boy in March 2024. And here's the really confusing part. Erika supposedly had a baby boy with Charlie not long after that, even though there are apparently no pregnancy pictures, no public records, nothing. So people are wondering, how does that timing even make sense?
Messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered.
Andrew Colbert is the person who received a text message from Charlie Kirk saying they're going to kill me.
He wrote me this, please pray for me. Quote, I know they want me dead.
What's being kept secret here? If Erika wasn't honest about her past boyfriends, and we're going to show you proof that suggests she wasn't, then what other things did she lie about? That's the big question everyone's trying to figure out right now. Because when you start finding one lie, everything else starts to fall apart. So, I need you to really pay attention to the proof we're about to show you, because this story is about to become way more shocking. Let's jump back to December 14th, when Erika showed up at a CBS News town hall meeting. During that event, she said something very clear. She stated she didn't go on dates with anyone for 5 years before she met Charlie. 5 whole years.
I lived out here. I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than go. I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way. But I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another. So it goes twofold here. So if you're expecting to marry someone that I was blessed with, like a Charlie, you have to be the type of woman that will attract a Charlie.
That's a really long time. And this became the main part of her whole public story. It made her look like someone who was serious, who wasn't seeing anyone, who was basically living a calm life until Charlie showed up. That's the story she wanted everyone to think was true. But is it actually true? Here's what's wrong with that story. Erika was living in New York City during those years when she said she wasn't dating anyone. And not just that, she was on a Bravo TV show called Summer House Season 3. They filmed that season in August 2018, both in New York City and out in the Hamptons area. Now, if you've ever seen reality TV shows, you know that these shows aren't exactly calm, private things. And while she was on Summer House, Erika was shown drinking alcohol, which goes against other things she said before about how she lives her life. So we're already seeing holes in the story she's been trying to tell. But hold on, there's more. Before Charlie, Erika publicly dated a guy named Tyler JT Massey, who plays professional baseball. This wasn't some hidden relationship. She actually called him her amazing boyfriend in Arizona Foothills magazine. That's a public comment in a printed magazine. Plus, engagement-style pictures of them together were shared online. The kind of pictures that make people think a wedding is going to happen. Now here's the deal. Nobody has been able to find any marriage paperwork, but the relationship definitely happened. So, how does that fit with her saying she didn't date anyone for 5 years before Charlie? Now, here's where things get even stranger. There's video from a Trump rally way back in 2015 that's been going around online. In that video, you can clearly see Erika standing next to a man who really looks like JT Massey. But that's not even the most interesting thing. There's also a young girl standing between them. And of course, people are guessing. Could that be their daughter? It's hard to know for certain, but the way it looks is definitely making people ask questions.
It was from Erika. She's like, hey, I was with Arizona. I love Donald Trump. Can I be involved? I'm like, absolutely. So I met her. I was like, we've got to put her behind the president. So I had my family behind the president. My grandpa, who just passed away just a few months ago, who loved Charlie, loved the show, everything, listened daily. It was my grandpa, my dad-in-law, Lauren, my wife, and Erika is up there.
Oh, and one more detail. Tyler Bohr can also be seen in that same video frame. Keep that name in your head because it's about to become really important. So, who is Tyler Bohr? Well, he's the person who later brought Erika and Charlie together. And in 2017, he became the chief operating officer of Turning Point USA. Now, the story people tell is that Erika and Charlie met during what was supposed to be a job interview. Pretty convenient, right? Because that interview supposedly worked as their first day too. So, you have to wonder, was this a real, natural meeting, or was something else happening that we don't know about?
To Turning Point's office opening for their first building. And Tyler, he runs Turning Point Action now. And he said, you need to meet the CEO. I said, okay, great. Met him very quickly, shook his hand, said, hi, nice to meet you. Neither of us thought anything of it. Looking back now, he apparently sat down with Tyler and said, Tyler said, we need to hire her. And he goes,
Before Erika ever met Charlie, she was going out with Kat Phillips. Kat is a senior editor at Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire. So we're talking about someone who's well known in conservative media groups. And here's something interesting. Kat shows up on a Turning Point USA tour right after Charlie's death. A coincidence, perhaps. But when you start putting together all these connections, it gets harder and harder to think that everything just happened randomly. Let's look closely at the timeline, because this is where things really stop making any sense. Kat posted a photo with Erika back in September 2017, and in the words he wrote, he confirmed that they were dating. The post even talks about them taking painting classes together, which sounds pretty couple-like if you ask me. But here's what's confusing. There were also pictures from around that same time showing Kat and Charlie together. So they definitely knew each other. And yet, Erika says she didn't meet Charlie until 2018. So how does that make sense? Were they all hanging out in the same groups? And Erika just somehow never ran into Charlie until after she and Kat stopped dating. It doesn't make sense. Let's talk about Kat's family for a bit, because his background is making some serious warning bells go off. His father, Tim Phillips, was a longtime Republican worker who was the president of Americans for Prosperity. That's a big conservative organization with lots of power. But here's the thing. In 2021, Tim Phillips was made to quit because of what was called undisclosed personal wrongdoing. Nobody's explaining exactly what that means. But when someone at that high level is forced to leave over personal behavior, people usually think it's something serious. And then there's the church connection. A person on Reddit said that Kat's family ran a place called Cornerstone Chapel in Virginia. If you look at the church's website, you can see that Kat's brother is listed as a youth pastor. Now, some people on the internet are going as far as calling this place cult-like. Is that fair? I'm not sure. But it's definitely making people suspicious, especially when you add it to everything else we've been discussing. Remember that pizza tattoo I talked about earlier? The one supposedly on the inside of Kat's lip? Well, here's why people are so focused on it. Charlie himself had previously said that pizza was secret code language for some really dark and terrible crimes. Now, is there any direct proof that Kat's tattoo is related to any of that? No. But you have to admit the coincidence is making a lot of people suspicious. Why would someone get that specific tattoo in that specific spot? People on the internet have also been looking back at Erika's past connection with something called Romanian angels. The details aren't clear, but the fact that this keeps getting mentioned is only adding to the suspicion about her past. What was she doing with that group? Why does it matter now? These are questions that still don't have good answers. Here's something that's really making people think something's wrong. People are saying that Erika and Kat deleted all proof of their relationship from the internet. Pictures, posts, tweets, all gone. Now you might say, well, people delete old relationship things all the time. And sure, that's true. But when you're being accused of lying about your whole dating past, and then it comes out that all the proof of an earlier relationship has been carefully removed, that makes people wonder, why hide it if there's nothing bad to cover up? Candace Owens recently made a shocking claim that's only made this situation bigger. She says that Charlie's security chief went to a secret military meeting. And, according to Candace, another person who saw it identified Kat Phillips at that same meeting. Now, if that's really true, what was Kat doing?
Send him the picture of Cabot Phillips, and he says, yes, that's the person I remember being at the base. Now I'm like, that would be totally crazy. Maybe, again, this could be a lookalike. And so I messaged Cabot Phillips and did not get a response. I messaged Cabot Phillips twice today, actually, and asked him if he wanted to have an off-record conversation. And I know that he does the Morning Wire up at Daily Wire. And I checked, and he's missing from the Morning Wire. He doesn't do it daily, but he does it enough times that I noticed that he is missing from September 4th to September 10th on that.
What kind of meeting are we talking about? And why would Charlie's security chief and Erika's ex-fiancé both be there? Here's what's really interesting. Kat Phillips has not said these claims are wrong or proven them false. So where does all of this go? Well, if you spend any time in some areas of the internet, you'll find people who are totally convinced that all of these people were trained secret agents. There's a growing belief that this was a long-running mind control operation and that it supposedly started the exact moment Erika was set up with Charlie. Was she put into his life on purpose? Was this whole relationship planned from the very beginning? I can't tell you what's really true and what's just guessing. But what I can tell you is this. The more you search for information, the more questions come up. And the people who are supposed to give answers, they're staying silent. So, I'll leave you with this thought. If even half of what's being claimed here ends up being true, what does that mean for everything we thought we understood?